I'm now going to play through the arrival of the naval column scenario, which can be found in the examples of play booklet. This is a step-by-step example of a strategic phase. A strategic phase is undertaken after 7 cycles of the operational phase, which would be 7 days. So once a week, at the end of the week, the strategic phase is carried out to see what happens during that week. The strategic situation at the moment is the time markers at the start, the first week of the war. The naval column is at sea on HMS Boudicca. I now take the game sequence card and I'll be reading from it, going down step by step. First, strategic movement segment. There are no strategic columns, so that's ignored. Reinforcement segment. Yes, there are reinforcements in the strategic box. So I grab the naval column and place it at Durban. Next is the negotiation segment. So I roll a die and I get a 6. Referring to the diplomacy table on the quick reference card, I find that diplomacy is affected. The politics marker moves 1 box to the right. Next I check Boer sieges. Sieges won't start till January 31, so that's ignored. I see if the British have won the war, controlling all 10 objectives at Laing's Nek. No. And end phase. Advanced strategic time marker and go to operational phase. So put that in the January 10 to January 16 box. And again you get the game sequence card and place a step marker on start day segment. That concludes my example of a strategic phase. I'm now going to play the March to Mount Prospect scenario, which can be found in the examples of play booklet. This is a step-by-step example of an operational phase. Operational situation is January 3rd to January 9, which is the first week of the war. And Collie with the Natal Field Force is at Fort Armel. So I'm going to be reading off the game sequence card. So the first step is start day segment, advanced operational time marker. So goes to Monday. I roll for the weather. I get a 4, so it's raining. So I flip the weather marker and move it to wet. So it's raining and the ground is wet. I won't be doing any night assaults. I assemble an operational column at Fort Armel. I've got the mark counters out already. Got Collie and 1 company 58th, 5 companies 360th, field gun section, mounted infantry section, and the Oxwagon convoy. I stack them up. And place them in the Fort Armel hex. Next I decided if I want to do any air assaults. No. Record assaults. No, there weren't any. Morning operational movement segments. I check the quick reference card and find out that the operational column will move 4 hexes. the morning. I check for events next. Roll a die. I get a 5. Draw a card. Regimental draft arrives at Fort Armil. That's good. I can keep this card to be used later. Now we check if there are any ambushes. Again, looking at the quick reference card, we find that the column will be ambushed on a 7+, and the British camp on an 8+. Both impossible because the maximum you can get is a 6. So then, it's the afternoon operational movement segment. So Colley moves another 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and arrives at Shuin Shukte in the evening. Bombard lagers segments, impossible. Secure objectives at Lang's Neck, no. Transfer troops at Lang's Neck, no. And next day segment. Since it's not Sunday, we go back to start day segment. So we're going to start Tuesday. Roll for weather. It's a 2, so it's fine. So you flip and goes back up to dry. Night assaults, no. Assemble operational column, no. Day assaults, no. Record assaults, no. Morning operational movement. Colley moves 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The double drifts aren't flooded, so Colley crossed without any problem and has arrived at the British camp. On arrival at the British camp, we have to transfer the supplies from the wagons to the camp supply depots. So remove the quantities. Column is going into the camp. So moving to the tactical board, the operational column has been placed in the British camp holding box. They are actually there. The supplies which were on the wagons have been recorded in the British camp supply track. What we have to do now is return the ox wagon convoy to the Fort Armil holding box on the operational board, and all these counters, supply counters, back in the Fort Armil holding box, supply box. Then you go on to event segment. So I roll a die. I get a 1. There's no event. Ambushes. Again, it's impossible to ambush the British camp at the moment. Afternoon operational movement, there is none because there are no columns. Bombard lagers, no. Secure objectives, no. Transfer, no. And next day segment, going back to the operational board, you would start Wednesday. That concludes my example of operational phase. I'm now going to play through the Battle of Lang's Neck Part 1 scenario, which can be found in the examples of play booklet. This is a step-by-step example of a tactical phase. This battle was actually fought between the British and the Boers on Friday the 28th of January 1881. Tactical situation is strategic time is January 24 to January 30. Operational time is Friday. Weather is fine and ground dry. Supplies to make note of are the 48 cartridges, the 4 rockets and the shells. There is a large British force at Lang's Farm. I've put the counters out here so you can see them, and I'll stack them up. So you've got 4 companies of 360th. A naval brigade, cavalry troop, 2 field gun sections, a mountain gun section and a rocket section. Lang's is British controlled. So that's them there. Now we can start. I'm reading from the game sequence card. The first segment in the tactical phase is assemble tactical columns. I'm going to assemble 2 columns. Collie with 4 companies of the 58th. Put them in the Campex. And HQ 58 with the GG 58 cavalry. They're all in the camp. Now we choose an objective for each. Collie is going to assault Table Mountain, and HQ 58 is going to assault Brownlow's Cop. We roll for the formations. Collie gets to 3 and will attack Table Mountain in mass. HQ 58 also roll 3 and will attack Brownlow's Cop in line. Next segment is night assaults. There aren't any, and we can start with tactical movement. Move the tactical time marker 6 AM. Roll for Collie, getting a 3. He moves 2. So moves 2. Shortest distance to the objective. If there's a choice, it's up to you. And the DG58. Roll a 3. And move here. You can't stack tactical columns in the same hex apart from at the British camp. Advance time marker 7 AM. Roll again. 3 for Collie, he moves another 2. 5, HQ 58 moves 2. Time check, 8 AM. Collie rolls a 4, moves 2. The 58th also roll a 4, move 2. Tactical time to 9 AM. Collie rolls a 3. going past Lang's Neck. 58th roll of 4. It's 2 hexes, and they arrive at the rifle fire hex. So they put them underneath the orders marker. Get their spare marker, put it in the 9 AM box so we know they arrived at 9 AM. 10 AM, this collie is still on the way. He rolls a 1, which is enough for him to get to the rifle fire hex. And his spare marker is put on 10 AM. Now we'll go to the assault cards and work out the results of the 2 assaults.